Norton, and I've never made a tutorial video screen record like this before, but I was about to do something that I thought a lot of people might find helpful, so I'm recording it, and we'll see how this goes. What I am doing is sharing a Pro Tools session with a collaborator. In this case, I've done the dialogue edit on a movie, and the collaborator is the re-recording mixer who will take that and mix it with the music and the sound effects. But I made an album recently and did this exact same process to take my music tracks to the producer who mixed it. So I think it's something that's really useful to know, and there are a lot of ways to screw it up. So I thought I would show people the foolproof way to do it. All right, let's start. This is a Pro Tools session for the whole movie. We can, zoom in and out and see, oh, there's a scene, and here's another scene, and there's a scene in between them. I use folder tracks. You don't have to use folder tracks. But the very first thing I do, you can see up at the top the name of the session, and I keep what day it is of work for billing purposes, I think. We want to save as, so that if we screw something up, we can come back to this one. So I am going to call this session the post NN DX edit to deliver, and save it in my projects folder with everything else. And now I want to make it look a little bit nicer. So I'm going to open up this, and you can see I've got tracks that are kind of medium-sized here and tiny ones at the bottom. I like to just make them all as tiny as possible. Do that for both folders. Seems good. I want to check on the left over here that all tracks are showing, because sometimes you're doing this kind of thing to compare some things next to each other. So make everything visible. And then you want to start taking out what the other producer does not need, so that you aren't sending a giant audio files folder when you don't have to. So when you're working on a movie, you start with an AAF. There's all these tracks. That's how they came in from production. And we actually got a second AAF, which I ended up using a lot. It's up at the top here. So there's a ton of stuff we don't need. This DXA and DXB pre-align was audio that I had edited but not yet phase aligned. And I don't think he's going to need that. So we don't have to send any of this, and because we just saved a previous session, we can just select it all and delete it. Cool. And it's going to warn you that there's audio. Delete the member tracks, delete the audio. Jesus Christ, come on, go. Cool. Now this is easy to look at. I'm going to make the folder tracks a little smaller. I'm sure there's a faster way to do that. And close them up so he knows what's what. I've got these PFX tracks at the bottom. I could put those in a folder. There are only a few of them, so whatever. And now I've got all these groups. I don't want someone else to click here and have these 3 tracks light up and they don't know what's going. So I like to delete groups before I deliver. Shift. Delete. Yes. Oh, you really have to do them all individually. Okay, I lied. We're not going to do that. They can just deactivate groups. You can press Command-Shift-G to turn your groups off, which I do a lot, so that's fun. Okay, what are we doing next? He doesn't need the video. He doesn't need my stereo monitor bus. He doesn't need the reference audio. Actually, let's include the reference audio, because it's only one other file. And he can use it to sync things up if necessary. We got a 2-pop here. Okay, this session looks pretty ready. So we are going to now export this to a new session that only includes the things that are needed. Now, we just deleted a bunch of stuff. You say, doesn't it already include the things that are needed? And the answer is no. It includes a bunch of other stuff, because if you go here, this is the way I organize things with this mixer. In the projects folder, we have an audio files folder that has a bajillion things in it, everything from the AF, and we just deleted like over half of that because that's what you do. And then we also have the audio files from the AF are in a separate place, just because that's how we do it. So we want to make sure that the other person doesn't have to go relinking stuff and re-downloading original things when they just want to open this and get to work. So what we are going to do is create a completely new project folder and only import the included stuff to that. And the way I do this, there are a couple ways to do this. I just find mine to be easy, is to make sure you can see all of your tracks, highlight all of your tracks, which you can do by clicking in the left. I also just learned this trick. If you click in this bar right here where my mouse is, boom, everything's selected. Cool, right? I press Command S to make sure I've got it in this state. And then we go File, Export, Selected Tracks as New Session. That brings up this Save Copy In box, but it's only going to save a copy of what is selected. So that I like more than just doing Save Copy In. Anyway, format is session, because nobody's working on Pro Tools 5.1 anymore. The sample rate for film and TV is always 4824. If it's music, people like different things, so you should talk to your collaborator before and agree on something before you start working. Items to copy, you check audio files. Convert to specified format. No, they're already in the specified format, but you could do that to be super safe if you wanted to. Main playlist only, doesn't matter because I don't use playlists, but if you do, decide if you want to give them just your final edit or everything. That's what this button's for. These are all pretty self-explanatory. Markers will stay in. In fact, the view will stay the same when they open it. That's kind of neat. So that's what I like. Click OK. And now I'm going to do this directly into my client's delivery folder. So I go to my work folder, client deliveries. Here's a list of people I'm working for right now. I don't know if you're supposed to show that. So I'm going to call this the post. NNDX edit. Delivery. Let's put a date on it. 6/12. And that's going to create a project folder in here with the session file and an audio files folder that will all relink to itself when you open it, right? So we hit save. It does this, you wait, and then because I did that directly to my Dropbox, I can just wait for it to upload and send the client a link, and I'm done. Or zip it, and send it wherever. So thanks for watching. I hope that was helpful.